Today we are going to discuss about PySpark Data Exploration in Microsoft Fabric. So first of all, I would like to thank to the Fabric communities and the Fabric conference communities from Devitt. And I would just like to give a brief about myself, and then I will walk you through data exploration in Microsoft Fabric. So I'm Rajendra Ongole. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP on both Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. And I'm a super user at the Microsoft Fabric community and 4 times Microsoft certified trainer. And if you want to catch me up, on the right hand side, you can see my social networking sites, LinkedIn and data analytics group, which is I can start writing the blogs from last 2.5 years. And today's topic is very interesting. So as I said, it's a completely on the PySpark related. And what are the by default configurations we are going to have an environment part, and also how we are going to set if you are working with larger data models. And along with that, I'll just try to showcase to you with one of the example orders table, which is provided from the, which is from GitHub, which I can try to download and we can try to use some of the data transformations along with the data exploration with the language PySpark, and I will showcase how we are going to import the data into the PySpark engines, and we will explore few more additional activities related to the sample data set. And before moving on to that, what is the importance of the data exploration? So if you're observing, so as we are running on the data vault, so the data should be sometimes we will work with the unstructured, semi-structured source systems other than the structure. So in such kind of a scenarios, if you're working with the larger data models, we have to import it and we have to perform some data cleansing operations. So how we are trying to inject the data and what kind of an necessary decision making support we are trying to take it. So these activities we are going to perform by using a different languages that are supported at the Microsoft Fabric. So what I will do in the sense is completely Fabric related events. I hope you are familiar, you got to have a familiar with the Fabric architecture also. So I'll just try to showcase to you the architecture, how it will be works. So what is the tools and personas that are supporting from the Microsoft Fabric engines part. And then I will walk you through the how we are going to use this data engineering capabilities by using Spark engines and what are the configurations part. So if you're observing, this is a complete Microsoft Fabric architecture. It's a complete unified SaaS integrated end-to-end platform. So it is supporting different personas which you are currently observing in the top part, data factories or data engineering. The team is having the data engineering capabilities, or maybe if you want to see some advanced data analytics, we can use the data science related activities and personas. And if you want to build a data warehouse by using the series scenarios like a series type 2 and so on, we can also make use of data warehouse capabilities within Microsoft Fabric. And real-time intelligence, if there is any streaming related data you want to take and you want to make use of it, and you want to import the data, and we can try to do the ingestion by using KQL languages and so on. So Power BI is already an inbuilt business intelligence tool where we can try to start sharing the data analysis, which is in the pictorial representations to the customer. So every if you're observing the complete personas that has been built on the top of one lake. So one lake is the foundation layer where your complete data sources, data extractions, everything will be get stored. And from there, as per the personas, we can try to pick it up and we can make use of it as a business development part. So it is supporting, if you're observing the data factory and the data science, the languages Spark based on the backend part, and a data warehouse transactional SQL, and a real-time intelligence Custo query languages and so on. So mirroring is the new concept. Few of the source systems has to be net get added. So maybe if there is already existing source systems, you want to replicate it and you want to make use of it, then in such kind of a scenario, mirroring is one more additional concept has been provided from the Microsoft Fabric. So shortcut, maybe if you are working with some external data source systems, like example, S3 buckets or Google Analytics Cloud, Google Computing Engine, and so on, we can use the shortcuts without replicating the existing source system. We can reduce or else we can get rid of the deduplication of the data. So the main scenario here, maybe if time permits, I can showcase to you where these shortcuts will be get created whenever there is a lake house has to be get creates. So this is a complete architectural overview where we are trying to observe the Microsoft Fabric part. Fine. How we are going to get enable or else make use of this Microsoft Fabric functionality if we want to test it with any one of the personas? First, we need to have get connected to the app. There are two ways. I'll just try to showcase to you. We can get it enabled from Fabric environment from app.powerbay.com, and we will navigate to the admin portal, and from there we can enable it. That is one approach. And another one is maybe if the admin is already enabled, turn it on the configurations Microsoft Fabric. If you can see, the users can create a Fabric items, which I have showcased to my as per the personas. These are all personas which you are going to observe once the option has been turned it on. So we can get it connect app.fabric.microsoft.com. Two ways we can get it connect to directly the Fabric environment. Once it has been turned on, we can start exploring how these functionalities and features will be get it make use of it our business applications. So most of the organizations we will follow on the on-premises or cloud environment, we will follow is architecture. If you're observing on the left-hand side data sources, whether the data is a completely structured or semi, or maybe if they are working with the real-time data source systems, we, as I said, right, we will use the sensor. Maybe before the real-time extractions like a sensor, IoT devices, we have a streaming analytics, like there is the real-time intelligence. So we will try to extract the data, the raw data, and we will going to create a layer name called bronze layer, which is completely raw data, which will be get fetched and get it visible to you in the bronze layer. Once we can get start with the layer creation from the lake houses. Maybe the, after that, if you want to make sure that the transformed or else the processed information, if we want to get it stored, we will try to create one more lake house within this Fabric environment. The processed information, we are going to call it as an silver layer. So how we are going to get it create these layers? So these are all lake houses. Whenever if we can get create the lake house, we can segregate it the lake houses part and we can configure it accordingly. So for this, as we are going to use the notebooks, which is a code based, and we can start writing the different languages supported by these notebooks. By default, it is a PySpark engine. And other than that, if the team is familiar with the Scala or else a transactional SQL, we can try to configure and we can do the data transformations to make our data in a proper way. And finally, once the after the data processing, we can start loading the data information in the real time. So which will be ready to go for the data visualizations part. So we will call it as a gold layer. So what is this direct lake, which is directly connecting to the Power BI? So direct lake is a faster retrieval of the data from existing one lake. So without, I hope everyone aware, there are two types of methods, import method and direct query method if you're working on the Power BI. But here, we are going to get it used, this Microsoft Power BI within Microsoft Fabric environment, which is again a cloud based. So we'll try to retrieve the data very fast from the one lake, and we can see the insights on without, I mean, configuration of your gateway connections and so on. So this is the complete architecture which we are currently observing, which is going to stay, or the foundation layer should be on the one lake. Fine. As I said, maybe as per our agenda, what we will do in the sense, if we can get work with the larger extractions, we are going to make use of the first lake house creation. We can create the lake house for each and every dedicated tenant. We can get it created one lake house, and from there we have a different approaches to get or else import the data. So as you, if you are observing in the center from the lake house via notebooks, we can get it create, and also maybe via data pipelines, which is almost similar experience as like Azure data factories. We can create the pipelines, we can do the data ingestion from there, we can perform the data transformation by creating sub pipelines as well. And here we are going to data inject with a different get data options. And we can prepare the transformations internally. By default, some of the transformations are supported. And as I said, we can do the data visualizations as well by using Microsoft Power BI, which will be right directly. There is an explore option. We can try to navigate it to the Power BI application window too. Fine. If you're observing, by default, there are a specific configurations. If you're working on the PySpark, it's a compute engine. If you're observing the cluster node, master node, and the cluster worker nodes, There is this name called whenever you can create the workspaces. On the left hand side, we can see the workspace settings, and there we have to get it configure. There is a starter pool with the optimization window from 1 to 10 of the node creations. By default, the executor node will support the data with 8 cores and 250 of the GB, and worker node is also same, like 8 into 8 configurations, 8 by 8 configurations. Maybe if you're working with a very larger model and if you want to get it configure the manually these custom configurations, I can showcase to you. There is an option name called new pool. From there we can get it configure the new pool configurations. So, and also we can try to set it the worker node configurations as well as master node configurations. Once we have to get it turned on this feature. And if you're observing, there is a node family creations as well. So by default, as I said, the memory optimization is by default, which is an average configurations. So this is what I'm talking about, Spark pool engines. So how the master node, header node will getting transfer the data, or else the distribute the data for the worker nodes, and which will be get stored in the one Lakehouse configurations. Fine. Suppose if we want to get it import a dedicated working libraries, we have an option. There is a built-in functionality. We can try to get it turned on, and we can start working with the environmental configurations on our own. By default, some of the libraries has been get installed. If not, we have to import those libraries also into your Microsoft Fabric built-in, public libraries and custom libraries configurations part. Let me walk you through this, where it is and how we are going to get it extract. As a part of our data exploration, I'm going to extract the data from an orders table, three of the years, 19, 20, 21 data source systems from the GitHub, which I'm already holding. And I can showcase to you what are the built-in operations too. Hope you are able to see my web application, that is app.powerbi.com. Let me showcase a fresh one minute. App. We can get it connect as a set two ways, app.powerbi.com, and we have to turn on this feature from this admin portal. That's what I'm saying. From this admin portal, if you want to play or else work with these workloads, which I have showcased to you, like a different personas, tools, like data factories or data science, data warehouse, and real-time intelligence, Power BI, and so on. So we have to turn on this feature here, Microsoft Fabric, and this is the one. Once this feature has been turned on from the administration portal, we can start utilizing these configurations anywhere. This personas, which I have showcased to you on this Microsoft Web environment. By default, if you're observing in the left-hand side, we can see that because I have opened the app.powerbi.com Power BI application. Maybe if you want to get it navigate to the Microsoft Fabric related tools and personas, from here we can try to get it navigate to the Fabric related personas too. So, but we need to have a dedicated workspace if you want to make use of these functionalities and so on. So how we are going to get it create these workspaces? We know from here we can get it create the new workspaces, or from Microsoft Power BI, we can get it create the new workspaces as well. Let me create a fresh workspace, and then I can showcase to you the configurations. What is the by default configurations for the Spark clusters too? Giving the name as Fabric Spark Demo. And I'm currently using the trial version. So by default, I'm once I have turned on, this is the trial configurations. And I'm going to use larger model with the trial capacity. Apply. This is my currently workspace, Spark demo, which you are currently observing. So from here, first we need to create a lakehouse to store or else to extract the data. So how we are going to extract, how we are going to create a lakehouse. So whenever you can create a workspace, a dedicated workspace, if you're observing a new items part, select it. These are all the personas which I have set, like a lakehouse creation, or maybe if you want to build a new warehouse, or data engineering capabilities and real-time intelligence by using event house and so on. Let me create a first lake house. You can see it here to store the data, giving the name as Park LH. It will take some time. So once the Lakehouse Explorer get creates, you can see the left hand side two objects with a folder information, tables and files. Files, maybe if you are working with unstructured or semi-structured data source systems, we can get it connect and import those unstructured by using some transformations. We can make sure that those unstructured semi-structured will be get converted to an tabular model, and we can convert into the tabular ecosystem, tabular folder extraction, which is a completely structured data. And directly, if you're connecting, if you're extracting the data from on premises like databases, we can get it extract via table source systems too by connecting to the different ways like new data flow gen 2, almost a similar experience as like online power query editor. And even we can try to get it import via new data pipeline as well. And also if you want to play with some sample data, you can work with some sample data provided from the Microsoft Fabric. Fine. As I said, how we are going to extract some of the external source systems. So as I said, so from the files, if you're observing, a shortcut is an option here, new shortcut. If you want to get it, extract the any external sources, like as I said, Amazon S3 buckets, if your data get resides there. By using these connectors, we can try to import into this Fabric ecosystem, that is into the Lakehouse, and we can get it start with the by using some internal transformation by creating some notebooks, or if your data is completely cleansed, and we can also get it created in the form of a tabular view too. And maybe if you want to reuse the existing data by using this Microsoft One Lakes ecosystem, we can import it and we can reuse it without any duplication of the data into these lake houses too. From here, we can get it extract a new shortcut approach. Fine. As I said, our complete activity is going to be on unstructured, which is an orders table. And the folder is already I have downloaded. You can see here my data source here, orders table. What I will do in the sense, these 19, 20, 21, it's following the same structure of the data. Let me open one file. This is related to there is no column headers. If you're observing, there is no column headers, only the data is there with order IDs and so on, the customer's name, customer details, and the price list. What I will do in the sense, these 3 years of data, 19, 20, 21, I'm going to create a notebook, a cell-based coding, where we are going to write the Spark language. And also we can change. I'll just try to showcase what are the other languages it is going to support as well. So these three files, I'm going to extract it via file ecosystem. You can see the folder, which is, I feel it as an unstructured, and I'm going to extract these three files from this file extraction. How we are going to do that? Files, you can see the three horizontal ellipse buttons. Select it. I'm going to use, maybe if you want to create a subfolders, we can create it too for our dedicated references part. So it's available in a folder, upload via folder, orders table, load it. Once these files imported, I'm going to showcase to you on this particular workspace, what are the by default Spark computation engine configurations too. So you can see here, three files has been imported as quick. So just try to select it. So these files, these CSV files will be get stored here in the Levan Lake. So fine, how we are going to give the naming conventions, the column header naming conventions, what are the Spark engines, where we are going to configure the Spark engines here. So as I said, whenever, if you can get create a new workspace, I had just named it as a Fabric Spark demo. Here we can get it configured from the workspace settings on the right hand side. So these are all completely a data engineering capabilities and functionalities. So just try to navigate to the data engineering Spark settings. So as I said, by default, we can see some of the full configurations with the starter pool with the memory optimization with average memory optimization with medium 1 to 10. So these configurations as well, we can change it. So as per our data and workloads, if you're working with the larger data models, we can change it these Spark pool automation configurations too. So most of the time by default, it is going to have 1 to 10. Maybe if you are working with huge data models, we can try to change it to additionally as well. Auto scaling of your data allocations part. Fine. What I will do in the sense, I'll just try to showcase to you. how we are going to get it, create a new Spark pool. So see here, new Spark pool. Let me name it as in Fabric Spark. Node family by default is a memory optimization. And here the node size, we have three different segregations there: small, medium, and large. Medium, I'm going to use it. And this is the medium configurations, auto scale, and as well as the dynamic allocator, executor, as well as worker nodes. So let's try to create it. Create. And here, Spark settings, we can see the environmental configurations to by default, the version type is 1.3, Spark 3.5, and the Delta 3.2. So maybe if you want to work with the lower configurations, 1.3 is also supportive. And if there is a team who is working parallelly, we have a high concurrency capabilities. So the same time, if you want to execute the notebooks by another user, we can try to get it configured with the pipelines running for the multiple notebooks as well. Here by default it is, this configuration has been turned on. And also, once the notebook, if you want to get it added from the Lakehouse, so we can also configure from the higher standard configuration, higher concurrency configurations too. But by default, it's a standard configuration as a single user. And the log configurations, if you're observing, by default, we can track the logs by using these log metric analysis. Let me showcase to you. This is my lake house. So see here, fine. So how we are going to get open a notebook? So at the top itself, you can see a blank notebook we can open by using a new notebook. Or maybe I have written a code already and I want to reuse the code here. In such scenario, maybe by using some external applications, we can also make use of external notebooks as well. Fine. What I will do in the sense, I'm going to create a fresh notebook. Click on this, select it. So it's trying to open another window in the same application part. On the left hand side, you can see the orders table and so on the Lakehouse, which we have just created. This is our Lakehouse orders table. So assume that these are all the tables, these orders tables, 2019, 2020, 2021. So this is the framework which in the right hand side by default a blank cell has been get created. So as I said, I'll just try to explain this window configurations and then I will walk you through few of the data exploration steps here. Fine. In this particular window, once you open a notebook, by default, as I said, a language it is supporting, that is PySpark. You can see it at the top. And even the for the cell configuration at the end, PySpark. And maybe if you are familiar or else a team is working on another, I mean, aware of the languages like a Scala, Spark R languages, we can get it configure as per the approach. So from here or from at the top here too. So recently addition from the TSQL statement, transactional SQL as well, the language supporting part. And by default, the environment capabilities it is supporting workspace default. That is by default new pool engine configuration. Maybe if you want to change the configurations, like as was Spark engine computations, we can create the new environment. We can get it create a new changing configurations to from here. Fine. How we are going to import or else extract the data? As I said, few of the steps we can use that drag and drop methodology, and few steps we need to write the code for this activities too. So let me showcase to you by using the PySpark. So just a kind of a drag and drop. So a frame, data frame to create the data frame. df is equal to spark.read, and it is a CSV format. And you can see the fabric. It is trying to load it into the ABFSS. So which is nothing but blob storage configurations. If you're observing, let's try to execute this particular cell. First cell, you can see the first 1 year data, that is 2019, without column headers as is from the backend source system. We need to add the column headers, and also we'll try to import because all three CSV files are following the same similar column headers, but the data is different. So how we are going to combine all 3 years of data? Let me showcase to you that as well. So whenever if you're executing, you can see the data at the down without column headers. You can see the column headers that. So let me Maximize it. This is the current data setup. And how much time it is trying to take, you can see the 11 seconds. And still, if you want to do further analysis to view the DAG engines, that is direct acyclic graph engines, we can make use of the Spark job. Suppose if there is any issues or any configurations, we can try to navigate and we can view the DAG engines as well from by connecting to this Spark user interface. Let me showcase to you a few data transformations. Let me add the same one. But as of now, there is no column header. I'm just trying to make use of, I mean, I want to get it in the form of a C1, C2, column 1, column 2, column 3. Let me make it as a false. Execute it. You can see previous step is having the column headers with the first row. And this step, because I don't have any column headers, I make it as a false. And you can see C01 to column headers name as C0, C1, C2, C3, C4, and 5, and so on as per the table view. Still, as of now, if you're observing the 9 columns on this data set, and I have to combine all 3 into a one single, like as of now 2019 information I'm trying to showcase. So what I will do in the sense, here itself, instead of calling a specific year, I'll just try to make sure that it's available in a folder, right? I'm just trying to make sure that star, let's try to execute it. We can see all the years data like a 2000 now you can see here 21 20 19 as well. Currently it is showcasing as per the first 1000 records 2021. Fine. Can we use any data visualizations here? Yes, it is supporting few of the data visualizations. If you want to prepare the analysis part, a quick analysis, ad hoc analysis, we can also use new chart configurations too. So from here itself. So by default, it is, I mean, by default, you can see the pie chart. Maybe if we want to change some other charts, we can change the other charts configurations too. So here it is, edit, start editing. And few charts only it is supporting, not just like how the Power BI will support. These are the charts it is trying to support. Maybe we'll just try to change it to line or bar chart. We can change it. So currently I haven't configured my x-axis and y-axis with the proper configurations, proper column header. So I have prepared a script as per the time consumption. So the script I'm going to use it here. Let me add the script for the column headers because it's a completely sales order table. So I'm trying to add a sales order number, sales order line items, and order date, customer name, email address, quantity, and some of the metric information is there. I'm just trying to add the script here to get visualize the column headers. Let me add a cell. So new cell and a few more configurations I'll just try to showcase to you here. So, and then you get some idea. Let me so I'm using the same star. I'm not utilizing any one particular year configuration. So these are the column headers. I just want to dedicate it. So display dot data frame. So we can see the output with proper column headers on each and every column. See this? Currently, we are viewing the table view with the proper column headers with all 3 years of data. And also we can download this particular information, this particular data in multiple ways, like you can download it in the form of a CSV, JSON, or XML file format too. Maybe as a showcase to you in the previous chart, the visualizations, right? These charts also for a quick references, we can download it in different ways. These charts like a PNG, JPG format and SVG configurations as well. So these are all the functionalities which are available on whenever you can start exploring on this Microsoft Fabric with the data engineering capabilities with PySpark. So other than this, what I will just try to showcase to you. So one of the uh, key configuration which has been added from Microsoft, that is data wrangling. So I hope most of you familiar with Microsoft Power BI with the Power Query Editor functionality. The similar way, what is the data capabilities as per the data extractions? Like what is the data quality checks? These quality checks, we can try to get it visualized by using this data wrangling functionalities too. Let me showcase to you one of this. data wrangling. Like we can see quality checks here on each and every column wise. How many duplicates, or is there any empty records, or is there any error information, along with a pictorial representations too. That is nothing but a visual representation here. And is there any replacement, as I said, data cleansing operations part? We can see here in the left hand side what are the formats that are available as well. So these configuration recently addition functionality from Microsoft Fabric. So we can do some configurations here and make sure that our data is completely organized, and we are going to do further advanced analytics from this data engineering functionality. So what I'm going to do in the sense from now, so next, I'm going to showcase to you few more data exploration functionalities by using this Microsoft Fabric PySpark. And also, I'm just trying to showcase to you few of the data visualizations by using Matplotlib and these configurations as well. Let me showcase to you here. And as I said, right, here the resource uh, catalog is there, Spark Web UI. So from this, it will be open a new window, Spark user interface. So as I said, DAC configurations and all, we can see it from these configuration. I mean, like if there is a, what is the success configurations and how many operations or jobs has been successfully executed, these configurations we can observe from this window, Spark job. Yeah, here, stages, DAC catalog we can see here, DAC. So it's a completely a new window. How on how much time it has been taken and all the durations and configurations we can see from this Spark user interface, Spark UI, Web UI. And this storage method, it will showcase where the data is getting stored. Maybe if you want to reuse it for some other applications, I mean, this particular data source system, we can also reuse it for the some other applications or some other user interface related functionalities too. These are the by default configurations environment which has been segregated. So from here we can view the complete analysis as how the jobs and how much time it has been taken. If there is any issues or configurations delay, we can try to configure via environment portal whenever you can create a workspace. I mean a dedicated workspace for your data engineering capabilities. Let me showcase as I said. Let's try to do some data filtrations via, like maybe by using the complete data. What I will do in this sense, I'll just try to showcase a customer name and as well as the email address. Let's try to write a small code. By default, as I said, it's going to support the PySpark, Python's code. And maybe if you are, if the team is very good on other languages, we can try to get it configured and we can execute the code here. Let me showcase to you this customers, giving the name as data frame customers df. So we can see the IntelliSense df customer name, email, count, distinct information I want to see, distinct count, display customer, comma, test. Let's try to execute it. It's a data frame which I have created for the, to showcase the customer name and employee email ID as per the data set which we are already holding here. Email address and customer name. Say some error, 1 second. Instantly, if there is, because the data for types, print, yeah, fine. Give me a minute. Yeah, sure. String. Okay. Here the mistake. Sorry. Fine. Some issue. Give me a minute. Okay. Let's execute it. So see here, we can see the count for this customer as well as a total number of records along with the detailed information, whatever the column headers as I said, customer name and email address details, we can observe it here. And still, if you want to get it to visualize, or else maybe if you want to view all 3 years of data with total number of price value, and also we can also do the group by operations as well as per the Spark engine configuration. So what I will do in this is one more code, and then I will showcase to you the existing code as well. Let me showcase. I'll just try to do a group by operation with, let me see the data for one particular item. Okay. This particular item, road hyphen 250, black 48, black comma 48. Let me copy this instead of rewriting the same. And if you have any queries, please post it in the chat so that I can look over at the end. Fine. df data frame dot select. I want to see the customer name as well, email address, same email address. I want to get it select, giving the another customers data frame. So it's a naming conventions as it is, we have to provide, otherwise we will get an errors. So make sure that there's a right column headers, comma, email. So as I said, one particular item I want to pull from this data, that is the first item, road hyphen 20, black, comma 48. So I'm trying to write a where class here after this. We can use the intelligence so that, I mean, what we are writing, we can see like, I mean, maybe if we want to write statement, so we can see the syntax as well. So where data frame item, this particular field, double equal to, here you have to use a single inverted code if you want to call that particular value. So I'm using the same. Let me copy this instead of wrong. So we just selected the record, just paste it here. Let's try to print. I don't want any count. Records print customer dot same only, customers dot distinct count, open and close the bracket. Next, try to display the values. Distinct. Okay, let's see if the data records are getting filtered with this item. Let me showcase to you that if any errors means we can get it resolved. Yeah, some errors, maybe some operator missing. Let me check. Yeah. Here, if you're observing, I did some mistake. Count, capital C have given. This is fine. Print. Line number 5, display. I already written some code. Let me check if the time. 1 second. Here. Yeah. Let me execute it because. Uh, so total number of records based on that particular item 133, and you can see the table information which I have already created. Customer name and as well as email address too. So what I will just try to showcase to you. So one more code which I have already executed, I mean as per the time convention. I'll just try to showcase to you the data visualization with matplotlib configurations and that particular scenario too. Let me showcase to you by opening another workspace. Spark demo. And few more configurations whether these Spark jobs we can schedule it or not. Yes, we can schedule it. If you can see here this particular notebook, we can schedule these Spark jobs as well. So run schedule option, we can get it configure these Spark jobs too. So as I said, it's got it configure the frequency of by minute interval, we can see, or hourly basis or daily or monthly basis too. We can schedule as per our data triggers, like wherever the data get it available. And the data sensitivity part, we can get it configured as per the label configurations like a confidential or general public and so on. Fun. And you have prepared a very big coding part, and also you want to reuse it the same application for another project needs. In such a scenario, we can promote these data, I mean this particular notebooks, and here we can get it promote like a promote, or maybe the complete organization if they're trying to make use of it, we can also make it as a certified endorsements too, these configurations. And as I said, what I will do in this sense, how we are going to work parallel mode. So as I said, by default, it is having the standard configuration, standard session. And if there is one more developer who is working on the notebooks, we can configure with the high concurrency sessions also, so that parallelly other persons has to be get it execute the same kind of a notebooks without impacting or else without discrepancies. And previous execution runs, we can see it from here, this particular window, which has been executed recently, or else maybe the notebooks, which has been executed and so on. Fine. I'll just try to showcase to you one, and then the configurations part. So I'm working with huge data models. Is there any way to import those environmental configurations? Yes, we have it. Let me showcase you that. So see here, by default, as I said, this is the Spark configuration, and our workspace. Let me navigate to this Fabric demo, workspace settings. I mean, currently by default, that particular node configurations I'm using. So I just try to import a new environmental configurations from here. So to set it out, here if you're observing Spark, though this is the one which you have created, Spark, Fabric Spark, instead of using the default Spark Pearl. Let me configure to this notebook one, which we just created with some data explorations. environment. By default, it is trying to take. Let me change it. Change environment. So from here we can configure. So see this Spark demo, Spark another configurations. This is the one MS online configuration. Let me configure this. Otherwise, maybe I want to create a new environment from here. Once you open a notebook as a set, here itself, new environment, create. It will be get open. Is there any custom libraries or else you want to compute I mean, like the worker node configuration or else header node configuration. These are all configurations we can do it from here. So if you are working with the larger data modeling part, and by default, some of the libraries has been get installed. Maybe if you want to use some custom libraries, we can import it. We can also import those custom libraries, and we can see the output as well, like a few configurations and so on. So here, let me showcase to you few configurations are still preview feature. This is the one Spark which I have created, Spark pool. And by default, as I said, the Spark driver core is 8 and executor code is 8 by default configuration with a size memory capacity with 56 GB by default, which is the higher end. And still, if you want to get it change or else if you want to get it add any other new configurations, we can import it. So here we have an option to import it as well, these configurations to Smart properties as well. Add it and we can get it, add these configurations too. And still, if you want to execute any external Python code, we can also import it from here, add, and we can add, sorry, here from the storage build part. 1 second here. Yes, upload. 1 minute. Here we can import it if there is any external notebooks. Import one code is there. Let me showcase to you. Let's okay, fine. Saved it somewhere. I mean, some of the folder location. So from here, we can get it import if we are working with any external Python code or as a pandas coding. I mean, like from here, import, and then we can play with those notebooks as well. I mean, once you can try to get it open this Lakehouse's configuration. So the completely, maybe if you're working with data engineering capabilities, and we have the different functionalities and personas which are available, and after that we can take it forward. Once the data has been tuned, we can take it forward to the next level of analysis for advanced capabilities for the data engineering science. And even if you want to get it visualized from the Power BI front, we can also navigate it from this Lakehouse itself. So once you can get create these lake houses, you can see here reporting configurations. We can change from one environment to the another environment, like a semantic model creation, and from there we can get it, take it forward to the Power BI desktop, Power BI application as well. And what about the security control? So here we have in, it's a still a preview feature, so we can turn it on at the all the levels, like a read. I mean, like admin level as well as the subfolder wise, we can get it configured these configurations too. Let me showcase to you the last item, and these are the allocations. So user with read all permission, or maybe if you want to see the reader with only read capabilities or write capabilities, we can configure based on the user. I mean, whoever working on these file source extractions and ingestion of your data into your notebooks. Fine. And if you have any queries, I'm ready to take your queries, and I hope you like the session. And if you want to get it, reach out to me. So this is my LinkedIn scanner.